Hello and welcome everybody. This is DSV, and today I am going to talk about the newest battlecruiser, battleship, whatever premium ship that is coming to Blitz, and that's a Japanese ship at tier 9, the Daisen. Now, the Daisen is an interesting ship. It looks to be quite an interesting ship, and it comes after the release of the Iwami, which is right next to it. Looks pretty similar. If we take the camo off, you'll be able to see better, and you know, like especially the turret layout and everything. The Dyson obviously is much bigger, and there's an excellent reason for that. The Dyson comes equipped with something that very few ships at tier 9 have, or few ships in total have at this moment in time. It's access to the spotter planes, which is what sets it apart from the Iwami. There are some differences as well. Let's quickly compare these two ships and see how these ships are different. The Iwami was released a few months ago. I generally don't even remember when, but it failed to make a big impact, and that's probably because of the fact that it was presented in gambling crates or a sonar sweep or something, and that isn't the way forward. Still, let's look at the graph. The ships seem to be pretty similar, except that the Dyson gets slightly better torpedoes now, and obviously the skills are different. The Iwami has access to precise aim 1 and 2 charges of the secondary overload. The Dyson has 3 charges of the spotter plane, which is a very useful skill, I think. Now, Iwami class, Dyson class, built in 1924, built in 43. That doesn't really mean much because, you know, let's look at the stats. Ship hit points, the Iwami has slightly more, but the Dyson is better in terms of torpedo damage reduction. Everything else is pretty similar. Like damage reduction is 13.5 for the Dyson, 15% for the Iwami, which is still nothing major. It'll be 50, 100 HP per shell. Doesn't really matter. Now, where you see a sizable difference, the guns look pretty much the same. 410 millimeters, 19.5 second or 20-second reload, not really that big a deal. The AP damage is the same, the HE damage is the same. The secondary guns, the Dyson gets a lot more of them and they reload faster, but the Iwami has access to secondary overload. Now, the difference is in the torpedoes, and these are two battleships that come with torpedoes. The Iwami only gets 4 torpedoes per side, the Dyson gets 8, and these are high damage torpedoes. 4897 HP without TDR is pretty good. Like, even with good torpedo damage reduction, you're still eating a lot of damage per torp, and if the opponent doesn't know that you have these torps, you can wreak hell. Also, the range on the Dyson torpedoes is less than what it is on the Iwami. The Iwami gets like 10.5 plus kilometers in terms of torpedo range, which is insane. The other big difference is in terms of AA, the Dyson gets slightly better AA, not enough to deter any CV, as you will see. I faced off against a Pobeda, which didn't really end well. Like, the match ended well for me, but it was a very difficult thing, even like facing the weak planes of a Pobeda. Also, the concealment on the Dyson isn't that good, even though I'm running the concealment mod on the ship. Even then, it is less than the concealment on a naked Iwami. Alright, so now let's look at the camo. We have two camos here. One is the war paint with whatever flags, or I don't know how a war paint camo would have this many decorations. It's a little nuts. The other one looks slightly nicer, like less flags, but I don't like the color scheme of this camo either. Anyway, so since Wargaming gave me the difference in terms of stats is that the war paint camo gets you better dispersion, while the historical camo gives you better secondary battery firing range. Also, the traverse speed on the war paint camo is better, while the historical camo gives you more torpedo range. I don't really want torpedo range on my battleship. It's not a torpedo boat, although you will see, because it's a new ship, a lot of people don't know about even the Iwami, so I did get a couple of torp kills which were pretty hilarious. Anyway, so the way I built the ship was with the dispersion, propulsion, and a concealment module. I tried it out with the rudder. Not really a big fan of rudder anymore, so I used the concealment mod. Commander skills, what I used was a maxed out Yamamoto for better dispersion, for better module damage, and APCS plus. Even with that, the problem that I was facing was just like weird penetration. Against cruisers, mostly I was over penetrating targets. And against battleships, I was getting wonky penetration. Sometimes I wasn't getting as many citadels as I would have expected. Probably because, the ship just lacks the penetration, and that indicates that you have to get up close and personal with this ship, which I wouldn't advise because it's not really made for brawling. It's more of a hit and run battlecruiser sort of situation here. Anyway, so let's take a look at the two battles that I have and how I played those battles, and let's see what I did with the ship, and maybe that'll give you an idea on whether you want the ship or not. Okay, so let's move on to that. In our first battle, I am facing a very good division, a Pobeda, a Marlborough, and something else. And from the outset, I'm in a dangerous position. I call out from my team to cap C, but I'm ignored. So instead of trying to go it alone, I turn my ship and start camping outside of B. Now, in a ship like the Iwami or the Daisen, it's not really a smart idea to go in and try to cap. And if you do that, you are setting yourself up for a very quick return to the port. Keeping that in mind, now I have made some mistakes in this particular battle. I will chalk it down not to me being a noob, but just that this ship is rather new to me. I was spotted here, and as soon as I was spotted, I should have let go of my torps, because I know there's an Adriatico here somewhere. He's not targeting me, but I know he's there. Oh, there he is. Instead, I chose to focus down Tucker in his Marlboro, and after my first salvo, I spotted a better target, a more viable target, which is the Amalfi. Spotter planes up, and let's see if I can make him feel, some pain. Unfortunately, my aiming was a bit off. The ship is accurate. It just takes some getting used to in terms of dispersion. Once you have a handle on that, you can do amazing things with this. The first couple of salvos actually weren't very good. I missed that Amalfi pretty much, and then I missed that Shimanto as well. But things will get better, hopefully. Meanwhile, the Pobeda has started attacking us, and I was very quickly set on a triple fire. Thankfully, I had the damage con to put out that triple fire and start maneuvering myself, because I just did not fancy my chances against the Marlboro. There you go, double perma-fire again. Not a very pleasant situation right now. We don't have any of the caps. We did get first blood thanks to the CV, but none of our ships have a lot of HP. So at this point, I thought I would just try to survive as long as I could and maybe get like a couple of consolation kills. And things got from bad to worse. But suddenly we saw a way back into the match. I looked, and our CV was capping or going towards cap, and we'd already taken B cap, so that's encouraging. Now, one thing I'd like to note here is that I don't know whether it's because of Yamamoto and APCS Plus and the Module Breaker Plus, but this ship does seem to knock out a lot of turrets. It doesn't get as many citadels as I would have liked, but it does knock out quite a few modules, especially on battleships. So that's always a good, satisfying, interesting thing. So, at this point, suddenly we are in a much better position. The enemy still have like a 200-point lead, but our position looks to be a little better now. And I was hoping that the CV would give me some help finishing off that Shimanto. Nearly wiped him out. This salvo was so much better than the earlier salvos, but my team really worked hard and really helped me polish off that kill. And suddenly we are completely in control of this match. In terms of gameplay, this team of randoms, they played really well against what is a very solid combination of ships, and more so a very solid combination of players. So this is one of those interesting little things that you see off and on in a match, where a team of randoms will somehow just start working together and do really well. Credit to them. Okay, so at this point the match is pretty much won. Now all I have to do is just farm. As soon as I notice that the Marlboro isn't going for me, isn't shooting me, I can move forward and hopefully like get my second kill. It's an international Armada player. They're my NA fleet, so bragging rights are always up for grabs. One more Citadel would have done it, but sadly no luck. But then I saw Vegas, another old fleetmate of mine. So I reached out and said hello. Anyway, so yes, before I forget, there's also a little giveaway. Actually, two giveaways. I want to give away 2,000 gold. What we'll do is just write your user ID and your server name in the comments, and if we get more than one entry, we'll obviously do a lucky draw, and if we just get one entry, you'll get that gold. The second giveaway is 3 months of YouTube Premium. If anyone would like that YouTube Premium, just reach out to me on Discord or write a comment on YouTube. The first person that wants it and reaches out to me, I will just hand over that redeem code to them. Right? Okay, so on to the second match. This is going to be pretty interesting. Now, for a battleship, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this is a battleship that comes equipped with torps, and in this match, I'm going to make full use of them. The advantage that I had was that since this is an unreleased ship, nobody really knows that this ship has such a heavy loadout of torpedoes, or any torpedoes as such, and because of that fact, you can take people by surprise. So gingerly we make our way forward. I will let that German battleship go up ahead because he can tank some damage. Me in a battlecruiser, I really can't do that. The Iowa is giving us a nice flat broadside, so let's introduce ourselves. Ooh, that was a nice one. Time for another salve, and out of the corner of my eye, I see an Oster, and more in hopes of doing something, and rather less by sheer luck, by skill. I launched those torpedoes, and there you go. That Oster just blundered into my torps. Always a satisfying thing for a battleship player to knock out a DD with torpedoes. That just put a big smile on my face. Now, planes up, and let's go after the NC. As yet, I haven't taken any damage. That's good. I need to preserve my HP because this is a delicate ship. It can't really take a lot of punishment. So, after that, I keep an eye on the minimap, and what I see is that there are 3 cruisers that are charging into our cap. Again, this is a team of randoms, no big fleet names or anything here, so what I decided was I would go and back up my team as best as I could, and hopefully help them out and prevent us from getting capped, because I didn't have a lot of faith in my team. A pair of Seongs can pretty much annihilate a couple of battleships if they get their torpedoes on point. Now I'm using the torpedo marker to figure out whether the Seong is turning or not. Based on that, I hit him really hard, and the Alsace was able to knock him out completely. What I failed to take into account was that the Seong took that time to launch torpedoes, and I blundered into a whole bunch of them. That other Seong, he was unlucky. I fired a salvo, the Alsace fired his, and that Seong was pretty much dead. And his torpedoes were something, these torpedoes I was expecting. So I had taken the time to put my ship into a turn and basically avoid most of them. I think I took one. Now, the Stalin is looking right for the taking. If my aiming was just a little bit better, I could have probably taken him out in this salvo, just deleted him. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but still, like, a bunch of shells got on target. The situation looks good. We've pretty much won the map, but I cannot survive. That Iowa is full health, is charging towards me, and I don't have a lot of HP. I have less than 10,000, right? So what do you do in a scenario like this? You delay the inevitable. What I did was I backed away from the fight as much as I could and showed him the narrowest part of my ship, my bow, in the hopes of mitigating as much damage as I could. Then an idea struck me. I remembered that I have access to torpedoes. So what I decided to do instead was, just use that health kit, generate as much health as I could, and then start charging the Iowa in the hopes of making suicide torp rush. Basically, be the Shimakaze player, because that's all I could do at this point. Now, the thing that we should note here is that this is an unreleased ship. Not many people know much about the Iwami anyway, and the Daisen nobody actually knows about, so fair play to that Iowa. But yeah, those 7 torps, that feels so good. Anyway, so this is the Daisen, and it's a nice, interesting little ship. Not an OP ship. It's not a Missouri or a Musashi or a Marco Polo. It's not a must-have ship by any means, but it is interesting. I wouldn't personally buy it, but if it were in a cheaper bundle, I might just change my mind. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you for watching, everybody. Once again, if you want to participate in that giveaway, write down your user ID and your server in the comments, and hopefully you get a chance to win 2000 gold. If you want that YouTube subscription, just reach out to me, and the first person who does gets that subscription. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Goodbye.